Good morning, everyone. I'm your host, Thomas28, and welcome back to Cryogenic Simulation. So, as we left off last episode, we finished building the Altar of Blessings. So now we can bless our machines from the machine gods, or technically the blood god and the astral god. I don't think it matters too much. Let's see. Everything's all smelted in here. Nice. Now I did update the pack to the latest version, which means I also have to restore all of my sound settings. Nice. Alright, that should be taken care of. I also went ahead and crafted ourselves a donk, which is pretty cool. Never used this mod before, but it seems to be, it's basically a backpack that stores a really large amount of items and then voids them once they reach that peak. So I crafted it all the way up to gold, which you can do once you get access to, what dimension was that? The lunar dimension, because to craft the gold one you do need, what is it called? Donka. This thing, the illumination powder from Astral Sorcery, but then they just cost a lot of gold, a lot of iron, a lot of lapis, and a lot of seared brick. So it's pretty good to have. It's going to make mining when I do that go a lot easier. I also built some waystone so we can teleport in between all of our dimensions. And I was going to craft some preheaters for this, but the crafting recipe appears to be bugged, so you can't actually make the, whatchamacallit, preheater. You can't make the external heaters for some reason. They just don't work, which is a bit weird. But it doesn't matter too much. It just means steel production is going to be a little bit slow. But for right now, we need to get into the lunar plane and go ahead and work towards brittle plastic. So we're going to need the tree fluid extractor, the latex processing units, the compactor to make our brittle plastic, and that'll get us into the final chapter of this dimension, Cosmic Divination. We're quite pleased with your progress, and we think it's time for you to stand on your own for once. You've been proven to be a quite resourceful specimen, and we have trust that you will manage this task. If you happen to fail, though, and you would be stuck here for an indefinite amount of time, so yeah, don't fail us. To enter the next simulation, you'll need to find a way to gather ardite and cobalt ore from the void. You should also look into ways of gathering a lot of cobblestone. You may need to construct several spectral relays to boost your starlight available at the Starlight Crafting Altar. Portal activator, lighting the portal to the third simulation, requires you to hold the lunar plane idle. I think I can craft this, can't I? Marble, aquamarine, totem of undying. Yeah, apart from the star metal ingots, I think I can actually just craft one of those. Where's my star metal? And I can just melt this in a furnace, right? Yeah, you can. So if I just grab this, do 2 in there. And then I should have totem of undying. And then I could just do this to look at this one. Trollseer Eye, Aquamarine, Marble, Blood Raven Feather. Yep, that's all in there. So I think we can actually just craft that right now, can't we? Oh, I need the marble. Don't have any in that chest. Marble. This guy. Lunar Plane Idol. So, oh, but I need the block though. Right. Can't forget that. So we need to craft Blessed Portal Stone. And this is made from the Starlight Crafting Altar with reinforced slate, quadruple compressed cobblestone, block of manulian, and sooty marble. Okay, so making the idol is the easy part. It's actually filling out the block with the Blessed Portal Stone. It's going to be difficult, which is going to take a lot of blood. Well, the reinforced is pretty easy, but it's mostly a lot of cobblestone and the manulian, because manulian is a alloy of ardite and cobalt, and I'm guessing we have to build a machine to get this by the looks of it. Do we? Transdimensional worm burrow. Interesting. No idea what that is. Altar of Cosmic Divination. Am I meant to craft this? I guess we'll figure it out when we get there. And I almost forgot, the main benefit to updating the pack is now we can do this. You can bookmark the machines directly from the quest book. Makes it a lot easier. Quest book this, and add it there. So let's see if we can go ahead and craft these guys. Starting with this, we're going to need this stuff, that stuff, and this stuff. So we're going to need, looks like, 2 blessed frames and 1 breadstone servo, also blessed. Now, from our dungeon delving exploration, we should have some machine frames, right? Yep, there we go. 3 of these. No servos. Servos are pretty easy to craft though, from what I remember, if the recipe is the same. Oh, interesting. So we're going to craft it at the engineer's workbench. We just need the machine parts engineer's blueprint, which is going to be made from circuit board, lapis, paper, and sanguine metal plates. So I should have some of those. Yep, circuit board. Where's my sanguine? I thought I had more sanguine. Oh, it's probably in this chest over here. So now we can take all of our materials, steel wire, iron rod, redstone, and make a couple of servos. Should be good to last us quite a while. Leave that in there for now, because I think I'm going to use those quite often. Grab the rest of our steel. Now we take these, and then how do we bless these? So, altar of blessings. So to bless it, we're going to need blessed life essence, liquid starlight, the item in question, illumination powder, nocturnal powder, aquamarine, and blood raven feather. What is nocturnal powder? This is made with pulverized coal or charcoal, ink sac, or anything black dyeable, coal, lapis, and illumination powder. Interesting. And this is a crafting there. And then for the machine frame, we're going to need more aquamarine, a blank slate, illumination powder, star metal, and the same. So we're definitely going to need to process the rest of our star metal here. Quite stormy. Anyways, so first thing we got to craft is the light well. This is going to let us accumulate a lot of the liquid. What is it called? I already forgot what it's called. Liquid starlight, so we can actually use it for the machines. And I believe, yeah, it's not that difficult to craft, and then you just have to fill it with rock crystals to actually condense the starlight down into the liquid, which is pretty easy. So we just go ahead, throw this in there, hit it with the wand. It shouldn't take that much starlight. Yep, it's very easy to craft. There we go. Then I believe you can actually put these nearby if you want to feed it into this. I'm not actually sure how, like what the range is or anything like that. But for now, I'm going to leave this one over here, just because I need to move the liquid starlight into the hatch. And I'm not actually sure which hatch it's going to go in, now that I think about it. It just shows either or, so hopefully it doesn't matter too much. So if we just put this here, grab one of our rock crystals, which I don't have, and now I have it. We just throw it in there. No. Oh, you just right-click it. And there we go, it starts producing. Now I thought there was an easier way to do this, but I don't know. I'm going to have to mess around with Astral Sorcery to actually learn it, you know? But in the meantime, that's dealt there. Now, at least this part is going to be pretty easy. So you just got to put a bucket on this to get the bucket of life essence. Now we're going to take this and put it into this cauldron, and it's raining, so it actually filled up with water. Let me grab that. To empty it, you go in there. Now we have a cauldron full of life essence, and then to turn this into the stuff we want, we just need to add 5 blood raven feathers. This is 4. Let's see, we should have a lot more available. There we go, 35. That's 38. So now if we just throw 5 into this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me put a little, that is the opposite of what I wanted. There we go. We could just add this into there to make blessed life essence. Then we can just bucket that out and throw it into the machine. And there's the rock crystal breaking. That's expected. So now we have 1 bucket in there. How much did we get here? 1 bucket, nice. Okay, so that is the fluid part of this recipe. Now we just need the rest of this. Nocturnal powder is going to be next, as that's the easiest. So illumination powder is also pretty easy. We do have to wait a little bit to get a bucket full of this. Let me go ahead and steal it from the other side, right over here. Yoink. And we could always head to the lunar plane to get some more. It's really not an issue. So you fill this, then you take 4 glowstone. Oh, why did it take damage? What the heck? Oh, because it's hot. That's why. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could have sworn it was 4 for this. Cauldron. Oh, I think I have to throw 4 in at the same time. Yep, there we go. And that makes your illumination powder. Now we just got to take this and add it to the altar with coal, pulverized coal, and lapis to turn it into our nocturnal powder. And where's that? That's a gateway. Oh, you can make those rocks. Cool. There we go. Like so. And where's my wand? That's a linking tool. Where'd my wand go? Oh, it's up there. There we go, nocturnal powder. I'm pretty sure you can automate these. I'm just not sure how, but we'll get to that later. So now that we have all of that, so now we need to take the redstone servo, combine it with this. It is annoying that you have to, what's the word? Unless, can you do it like that? No, you can't do it like that. So, servo, nocturnal powder, 4 aquamarine, 1 blood raven feather, illumination powder, and that should be it, right? Oh, I think it's done. Oh, there's no indication that it actually works, and it's very silent. But there we go, 1 redstone servo. And you do need a lot of these, looks like, to craft everything. But now that that's out of the way, we needed that to make the tree fluid extractor. And now we just need 2 blessed machine frames to finish this off. So that's going to take a lot more aquamarine, a couple of blank slates, more feathers, and star metal. So now I just throw in the blank slates, and it should eat them all. It's doing it one by one. And it works to make our 2 blessed machine frames. We do have to wait for the second one, but it does go pretty fast, and it doesn't cost any energy, which is pretty cool. And now we can make our 3 machines. Starting with the tree fluid extractor, I'm going to need iron gears and some more stone, which means I got to smelt some cobblestone, but I should have my gear thingamabob here, and that's going to take hop graphite. Hop graphite? What? Oh, okay, we can use the altar. I was really worried for a second, because hop graphite is usually something that takes a lot longer and a lot more work in immersive engineering to get to. But this is made from pulverized coal, nocturnal powder, steel ingot, and blaze powder, so I'm going to have to save that one. But at least this one is quite easy. So now we can craft our first machine, the tree fluid extractor. Probably the easiest one out of the bunch. Next one is the latex processing unit. I should have some furnaces, there we go, available for this one. Oh, just need a little bit more iron. There we go, grab the iron. I can't wait to unlock AE, because that's going to make all this crafting so much easier. And now we just need the compactor, which is missing the hop graphite, bronze gear, redstone conducted coil. Wait, can I make this? Oh, electrum wire. Interesting. Where's my electrum? There we go. And then I believe I have the wire one not set up. I actually just took it off. Wire. Swap that. Electrum. And that should let me make the redstone conducted cable. We just need to grab a little bit of redstone. So if I grab these, throw that in here, we can make redstone conductance. Just one, pretty expensive. Then we need the bronze gears, which will just take the gear die and our bronze. Throw 8 on there for 2 gears. Put away this. And now we just gotta work on the hop graphite. So pulverized coal, nocturnal powder, steel, and blaze powder. I think I lack the blaze powder for this. Did we unlock an easier way to make this? Oh, I can turn the blaze powder block back into it. We do have an abundance of that from the dungeon. So I should probably explore another dungeon when I have the free time to do so. Grab that. So 4 blaze powder, 8 pulverized coal. Where did I get the pulverized coal in the first place? Because I had some available. Yeah, how did I make this before? Oh, from the ash. That's how I got it. So now with the steel, we should have everything we need in order to do this. Then I think I have to wait for daytime unless there's just enough in here to do it. No, it looks like there's not enough. So we're going to have to wait for nighttime. Now I could have sworn there was a way to store excess starlight for the daytime to make doing crafts like this a lot easier. So I guess I should try reading more of Astral Sorcery to figure that out, because we're definitely going to be using this a lot more. And now the night has cometh. We can do our crafting of the hop ingot dust. And then I did figure out how we can harness more starlight. And it's via this guy over here, the spectral relay. We have to build a little thingamabob, a little structure to collect more starlight. But there we go, 2 ingots. And now we can make our compactor. Done. So now that's all 3 of the machines. And I guess I'll set this up. So we can collect more starlight later, like in between episodes. As you can see, it's very easy, just a spectral relay and this little thingamabob. So it should be pretty easy to craft, and let me store the rest of this. And this is as good a spot as any. Obviously the factory will continue to grow, so take the tree fluid cum extractor, we'll place it this way. Add the wood. That will slowly start generating latex, and then over time these... What is that? What is this? A flare. Is that from you? Did you cause that? I have no idea what that is. Okay, let me collect this. This rock crystal has generated a lot. Huh. I've never seen what a flare is. I don't even know what that's for. Anyways, so now that's going to make the latex. Then we just have to put the latex into this guy. Oh, but then we need power. We don't have any pipes yet, cable. Like any other things other than immersive pipe. Oh, maybe if I type energy. No, not really. There's redstone energy flux ducts, but that's gonna be gated for a while. Wait, leadstone? Oh, okay, but to make leadstone flux ducts, we're gonna need blessed high voltage wire. Wait, can I make the blessed one? Liquid starlight, nocturnal. Huh, we could. That's just a lot of work for something that I could just move over. So I'm gonna do that instead. So it should be as easy. It's just adding these to the top and then just wiring them to power. Oh wait, this one doesn't need power. Forgot about that. He works for free. Do that. Then add this to there. This is turning into a really big fire hazard, but that should be fine as long as I don't jump up around here. And they do get the power. Perfect. Now we just need to route the latex from here into there, which I think I can do with a jerry can, but my jerry can is currently full of creosote. Alright, that works. Fluidux. Now we could just have this guy pull the latex out of here into this guy. Now we just have to add some water. And that's going to make tiny wet rubber. Then we could take the tiny wet rubber, and we need 6 of them to make wet rubber. Then we need to dry that into brittle plastic. And that takes a lot of water by the looks of it. Isn't there a thingamabob I can make water? I believe there is. Water supply gadget. Redstone, iron mechanical. Huh, pretty cheap. And then you could just have that always pump water inside. It's a good idea. And there we go. Perfect. Water supply gadget supplies infinite water. Process the latex into tiny wet rubber. Take the tiny wet rubber and compact it into whatever this is called, wet rubber. Then throw the wet rubber onto the drying rack and let it dry. And it looks like it goes very, very slow. But all of this goes very, very slow, especially the collection of latex. Now, you can add multiple tree fluid extractors to whatever the wood block is to get more latex, but the overall amount of latex a log produces doesn't increase. It stays the same. And this is going to be really slow. So I'm guessing we just need to make more of them. But that lets us get brittle plastic. And that lets us get brittle plastic and then turn it into... Wait, no. We're turning the wet plastic into brittle. So what can I craft with brittle plastic that will get us ardite? Okay, I think I figured out what we need to do. So we need to craft an induction smelter using our brittle plastic. The induction smelter will enable us to produce rich slag. Rich slag is then going to be used in the altar of cosmic divination in order to produce ardite and cobalt. And then once we have the ores, we're going to alloy these in here to make manulian. Now there's no other way to alloy them, right? Multi-manulium. Actually, if I click this one... Okay, you can actually just use it in the induction smelter, so I don't even have to use the smeltery, which is pretty good. But okay, so first we need this guy. So we need another blessed machine frame, and then the rest is pretty simple. So now I just gotta add in the remaining 6 aquamarine, and that should craft it. Yep, there we go. It's gonna eat it and spit out my blessed machine frame. Luckily, aquamarine is pretty easy to find. So there we go, blessed machine frame. Now we can craft ourselves the... What am I crafting? The induction smelter. So now we just need a bit of sand, another redstone coil, copper gear, and invar gear. Put all of that together and... Wait, where's my brittle plastic? Oh, there it is. And we just need this guy, the redstone coil. I thought I made a bunch of these. I guess I didn't. Luckily it's easy. Electrum, iron rod, and that. I think I just need the electrum rods. Unless I left them in here? Oh, it's electrum cables, not rods. My mistake. There we go. Make some electrum cables. Combine rod, cable, redstone. Make some of these. Grab the rest off the floor, and now we can make an induction smelter, which will also need some energy. We go ahead and grab LV wire and connector. Let's see, we'll put it, I guess right here is fine. Yeah, see, I gotta be very careful about jumping right here because I can easily electrocute myself. There we go, induction smelter. So now that we have the induction smelter, we need to use it to process our ores to generate some rich slag. Now luckily iron ore is pretty easy to find. Well, let's see, Rs per tick. Maximum is 60, which is pretty good. How does it go higher? And there we go. And this also doubles it as well. So technically you don't have to use the smeltery, as the power is essentially infinite, but if I try to run everything in parallel, we're going to run into our own set of problems like that. And I thought there's a type of wood that works better for this. Wood. That's too much wood. I'll figure it out later. Okay, interesting. So we need to make a pristine ocular lens for the altar of cosmic divination. To make one of these takes 20 to 80 molten pristine glass, which is 20 pristine glass lenses, which is honestly not that expensive, as it's just glass panes and aquamarine. So it should be, what, 20 of these? Yeah, 20 aquamarine and then a bunch of glass. So it's honestly not too bad. I thought I was making glass. There we go. Some glass into panes. Like that. 48. Is that going to be enough? I don't think so. Well, while I wait for our glass to smelt, I decided to come back to the lunar area. Mostly because there is tons and tons of iron, pretty easily exposed. And we're going to need quite a lot of rich slag in order to get our items. Now, because iron ore in, well, technically not iron ore, any ore in here only has a 5% chance, and in total we're going to need 8. That's 20 per, 20 times 8, that's 160 ore processes on average, which is honestly not that bad. I just don't have enough ores right now, so we're going to have to do a little bit of mining. And alright, I think 3 stacks is enough. That's what, 180? Actually more than 180. So let's go ahead and get out of here. Now there was an item I forgot to craft that I believe lets you teleport to your waypoints at will, so I think I should make one of those at some point, if I bother to remember. Alright, so now that I have enough slag, we can go ahead and turn all of this into our pristine glass. Throw that in here, that one in there, that one in there. Should be enough, and then I could just hit this I think 20 times and it should work. Oh, it did a bunch at once. Flare, what are you? So mesmerizing. I wonder what that actually does. I don't think it's dangerous though, which is nice. So now that we have the 20 of these, we need to come into this guy. And, oh, I left all this stuff in here. Whoops. I need to empty this first. Well, actually, I don't even have to empty it. We could just throw all 20 in here. And then I could just turn that lever off and we'll be good to go. Oh, but I need a specific cast for this. So to cast this, we need a pan cast. So if we come over here, I need to make a pan. Then I need to come over here and make a wooden pan. Then I gotta come over here and put the wooden pan in there. And then I need to make a aluminum brass ingot. Put that on the top. Flip the lever. Oh wait, it's just one, right? I think it is just one. If you use aluminum brass, I believe it's just one. Put you on the bottom to make our cast of the pan. Wait for these to finish melting. Put that on the bottom. And now we can make the white pristine ocular lens. It does take a ton of buckets of this liquid, so it's going to take quite a while to cast. So we're going to wait just a second. You know, it's quite funny. Well, it's funny to me. I've never actually gone through the, what's the word? The motions of using thermal expansion for the ore doubling. Because I always found having to supply sand in here to just be a little bit annoying. So I do like that they actually integrated it into the pack pretty well. So now that we have our white pristine ocular lens, we just come up here and swap this guy for the ocular lens. Now if we look, altar of cosmic divination found. So now that we have rich slag, we can take this and combine it with iron ore, an 8 blaze powder, iron ore, 8 blaze powder, to make ardite ore. So we put that inside, gets processed, and it's going to make ardite. And then the other one, there we go, 1 piece of ardite. And the other one is 8 lapis and a piece of iron. So 1, 2, 3, 4 iron. And I think I'm all out of lapis because I used the last of it to make my dank. How much do I need? 8. Okay, so I definitely got to go mining a bit more. Luckily, that's not too difficult. Let me put this stuff in here. Yep, that works. And let's see if we can find some lapis. Well, when they say lapis is rare, they certainly weren't lying. We only got 34 lapis and I eviscerated like this entire area under the bedrock, but at least mining is a lot easier now. Oh, and okay, that could have been very bad. I was saying mining is a lot easier because of the pickaxe and the ulti-mine. I could just mine out huge amounts of space really fast. And the pickaxe will keep leveling up. So now it's at expert level, and I could probably add reinforced 3 on it to make it go even higher in terms of durability. But with 34 lapis, that should get us our ardite, or no, what's the other one? Not the ardite, the cobalt, to let us progress. So now, where's the rest of my stuff? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 of these, and the iron. I put all the iron in the smeltery. Iron, there we go. To make our cobalt, throw you in there. Why aren't you working? Oh no, there it goes. So now it's going to make our cobalt. Done. Now let's see, so if I throw it into the induction smelter, we can get 2 of it. I wonder, can we do higher? And not really. So let's just go ahead and smelt both of these guys. So there's our first 2 pieces of ardite. That's going to be our first 2 pieces of cobalt, and that's done. But then that's going to make not a lot of manulian, right? Because you got to take this, and now we can combine that. That's going to make 1 ingot of manulian. Or is it 2? I'm not actually sure. Because it's 4 in total, right? So shouldn't it make 4 manulian? No, it only makes 1. Then we need a block of manulian to finish off this thing. Where is it? There it is. We need 2 blocks of manulian to make this. We have the sooty marble, we have the star metal, we have the reinforced slate. We will need a quadruple compressed cobblestone, which there are a couple ways to do that. The simplest being I take my hammer and go sicko mode on the world, which I might do as I have the dank, so it's honestly not a bad idea. But we're going to need a lot more manulian. So thinking about it, our biggest bottleneck right now is the production of rich slag, and there's not much we can do to really speed that up. But I could just go mining for a lot of stuff anyway, and that should be helpful for me in the long run, because I do need a lot of this stuff regardless. And we're going to need a ton of cobblestone for that as well, and the dank can hold 2048. But we could also make the RF tools builder at this stage. Heavy engineering block. It would take some brittle plastic, but the builder would let us quarry a very large area, and it is kinda intended as it was in the quest book, but that is quite expensive as the block of manulian is needed to craft the shape card. Well, at least we got options for how we can solve the next problem. Let me store this stuff away for now. So we need to produce more rich slag, which is really not an issue. So I believe I found the solution to my rich slag issue. And I went ahead and built a second steel pickaxe. So the idea I have is essentially, oh, that's just silver. It's a 5% chance if we do like iron, silver, you know, those basic ores. But the chance goes up to 50% if we do like lapis or redstone. So I went ahead and gave this pickaxe Silk Touch. That way we can mine that stuff and collect the raw ore. Because if you take a look, and I believe that is, I think I remembered it correctly, redstone ore in the induction smelter is a 50% chance, which is very high. Now, if I take this and put it in the pulverizer, there's also a 25% chance of cinnabar, which gives me a very high chance of rich slag. But then I need another machine, and I'm not sure the logistics right now of which one is better. It might be better to process it into cinnabar, but then I need a lot more, what's the word? I'll need a lot more redstone ore to make the cinnabar just to get that 75% chance when it's easier right now just to like process the redstone regardless. Or actually, is that better? Because, let me think about this. So a pulverizer has a 25% chance to make cinnabar. So every 4 redstone makes a cinnabar. Then we can use that cinnabar in the induction smelter, and then on certain ores we have a 75% chance to get rich slag. But if we make the pyro concentrator, no, not the pyro concentrator, what I want is this one, the metallurgical recovery, gives you a chance to not consume metallurgical flux. It takes more energy, but then it won't use the cinnabar. That might be the move. The recipe was even changed, so I think that's what we need to do to make this more efficient. Alright, well it took like an hour, hour and a half, not actually sure. But hey, my steel pickaxe is now master level, and I have enough rich slag, I think, to finish this. Oh, I need a lapis actually, so let me swap this out. It's almost done. There we go, lapis. Because I need to convert this stack into ardite, this one into cobalt, and that's going to need, because I need 16 of each, so let me split this into 32. Put that into stacks of 16. I'll store the rest away just so I don't confuse myself. There we go. Bunch of lapis, and it's 8 lapis for this guy, right? Yeah, it's 8. So if I need 16, I actually need... How much lapis is that? I think that's 2 stacks of lapis. Now that I think about it. There we go, 2 stacks of lapis. That should be enough to make 16 ardite. So go ahead, I'm going to throw 16. That should eat all of it, because it's 1 iron, 4 slag, 8 lapis, and that's going to start producing our cobalt. Now for the ardite, we're going to need a bunch, and by a bunch I mean a ton, of blaze powder. Because if it takes 2 stacks of lapis, then it's going to take 2 stacks of blaze powder, which I definitely do not have. Yeah, not nearly enough. Luckily, we can make blaze powder, so that's not too difficult. We just have to strain a bunch of ash, and it's a 30% chance to get 4, so that's not too difficult. And there we go, 2 stacks of blaze powder. Used up like all of the coal that I collected, but it's for a worthy cause. So let's go ahead and convert all of this into cobalt? Ardite. 16 iron, 64 rich slag, 2 stacks of blaze powder, and that's going to convert into ardite. And now that I think about it, did I make double? No, this is the right amount. Because you need 1 ardite and 1 cobalt just to make 1 manulian. I already have 2, and I need 2 blocks of it. So I need 16 of the raw ore of each to produce enough ingots to make them manulian. And I've got to say, this has been pretty grindy. Luckily, it only took like an hour or so it's not bad as far as most grinds go, mostly because the Tinker tools let you process so much area so quickly that it didn't even feel too bad. It was ulti-mine all the stone, then mine out all of the stuff. The slowest part was just converting all the ores into our rich slag, but now that that's done, we can move on and convert this into manulian. You know, I'm hoping the next chapter is going to unlock some better, better power generation for us, because I really want to overclock all these machines to go a lot faster, but until I get better power generation, that's just not really possible. Unless, now that I think about it, doesn't immersive engineering at immersive, they have better power generators, don't they? Where's my immersive book? See, I like this bookshelf for holding the books, but it's terrible for when I want to actually find something. There we go. Because if this is everything in here, generators, power generation, Water wheel. Yeah, this one only has the water wheel stuff. It doesn't have anything bigger. Oh, there's this one, the diesel generator. Which maybe I can craft? Radiator block? I think maybe we can craft this, but without fuel, it won't actually do anything, right? Okay, well I guess technically we could make biodiesel, but that's going to take a lot more machines, and probably a lot more water wheels to actually get going. I was AFK for a bit. I think I made too much Manulian. I don't mind though. It's always nice to have a bunch, because now we can combine this into 2 blocks of Manulian, and take a look at the Starlight Crafting Altar, which will take 2 reinforced slates. I think I have one of these. Yep, one of these. I made it by accident. So let me craft another one of these. I'm going to need this guy and charred terracotta. And then we should be able to craft the next thingamabob for the portal. What is it called? I already forgot the name. The Blessed Portal Stone. Let's see. So this has to go one more time. Let me feed it some more. There we go. So 2 reinforced slate, 2 blocks of Manulian, 2 star metal, 2 troll seer, 4 sooty marble. Let's see, where's my sooty marble? I stored it somewhere. There we go, sooty marble. So 2 reinforced slate, 2 Manulian, 4 sooty marble, 4 star metal, 2 troll seer eyes, and 1 quadruple compressed cobblestone, which is 6,561 blocks of cobblestone. Now let's see, how much do we have? We have 3,160 there, and I think my dank is empty. Yep, it's empty. But that means we're mostly done. So I'm going to store that in here for now, so I don't forget about it. So 4 sooty marble, 2 blocks of Manulian, 2 troll seer eyes, 2 star metal, 2 reinforced slate, and I think that's all in the right position. Yep, now just 1 quadruple compressed cobblestone, which shouldn't take that long. Is there an automatic compress? Oh, there is a sigil of compression from blood magic, but I don't want to delve into blood magic just to have to make that. I was hoping that there was one of those, like, what's the word? Like the dank won't automatically compress stuff. It just stores it up to a point. I forget what mod pack it is, but I played a mod pack before that had an item. Oh no, it was sophisticated backpacks. Sophisticated backpacks could do that. Anyway, so we have cobblestone, cobblestone, double compressed cobblestone. And we need to go all the way up to quadruple, right? Double compressed, triple, quadruple. And that's what we're going to need. So I'm going to have to go mining. I do need some food, though. Otherwise, I'm going to starve in there. Because I found the only downside... I thought I had pork chops. The only downside to using the massive amounts of mining is that you run out of food very fast. And before someone says, oh, James is doing a lot of off-screen mining. I am. This is all the mining done off-screen. This entire area has been devastated by our ultimate pickaxe. And let's see, so we're at 6 blocks of triple compressed, so we just need another 3, and we'll have enough. Luckily, mining is really easy. It's like just like this. There you go, stacks upon stacks of cobblestone. Oh, that's the wrong pickaxe. Whoops, I do not want regular stone. And there we go, 9 blocks of triple compressed. Makes 1 quadruple compressed, and we can get out of here. Now, I did encounter a very silly bug in that if you use the crafting station to make these, it bugs out the game for some reason. Not quite sure why. The game would keep crashing every time I tried to use it as extra storage. Boom. So now that's in there. Now, I think this should be able to hold just enough, but we might need to amp it up with the spectral relay. Not quite sure. I guess we'll find out at nighttime. Now I did take a look at the quest book, and it did mention if I put a imperfect ritual stone on the bottom, this on top, we can make it night. Awesome. So now this is going to fill, And I believe it has to fill to this part here. I think that's what it looks like. So let me grab my wand. And let's see if we can get this guy started. Or actually, no, I think it has to fill up all the way over here. So if it doesn't reach, then we need the astral relay. Okay, so it seems like it stopped filling up about here. So we're definitely going to have to figure out how to give it a little bit more, which I think is in here somewhere maybe? Quarry power, no, it's not there. Is it in cosmic divination? No. You may need to construct several spectral relay to boost the starlight available. Interesting. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. Okay, so I think it's working, because it looks very full. So now if I take the mullion, click that. Okay, it works, cool. I was worried I was gonna have to set up like 4 of these. Luckily, you could do it with just 1. So you can see there I made 3 other spectral relays. But now, the astral sorcery crafting commences. It doesn't even use all of it, but I'm guessing... Oh, no, there it goes. And it makes another flare. Still not sure what those do. But now we have the Blessed Portal Stone. We have our Lunar Plane Idol. We plop this guy here. And open the portal to the next simulation. And I was thinking of, you know, leaving it as a cliffhanger, but let's take a look. Let's take a peek at the next one. Welcome to simulation number 3, the Arid Waste. Good job, XC443. You made it to the Arid Waste. You have been rewarded with some machine frames as well as a participation trophy for completing the second simulated dimension. Sick. Let's see, what does it look like? Looks like canyons, some desert shrubland, and lots of sand. Interesting. I wonder what we're going to find here. The Arid Waste. A near lifeless world that holds hidden resources alongside... A near lifeless world that holds hidden resources alongside with a vast supply of unrefined oil. Your goal is to refine that oil as well as improve your infrastructure and logistics. Raw resources, I can already see the AE, Surdis Quartz. The barrier is found at height 50. Try to avoid tripping while you're around it. We would like you to keep intact. What do you mean barrier? The barrier. Does it mean... Where am I? 64. So does that mean that the Y level only extends down to 54 and that's where bedrock is? Interesting. Lots of structures here too. But this is where we get oil. And I'm guessing this is just regular water? Or is this oil? It's a massive river of oil. My god. Black gold. Oh, and it's pneumaticraft oil. Interesting. Not the biggest fan of pneumaticraft. Not the biggest fan. You know that. Most people know that. Most people have that same opinion. But it does have its fun uses. Maybe I'll learn how to use it better. But other than that, I'm not seeing anything else here. Good to know. But now, as the sun rises over the arid wastes, you already know this episode has gone on quite long enough. I'm your host, Hamas28, and I'll see you guys next time.